धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेतायुयुत्सवः।
ओम सहनम भवतु सहनं भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनाधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम शांतिर्हि। Okay, let us sit down and study together. Through discussion we sharpen each other's intellect. May we not bear any ill will towards each other. Peace, peace, peace. Let peace prevail.
So today we are going to get to chapter 9, as we discussed before. What is fascinating for me, Amitabh, is that chapter 8, chapter 9, and chapter 10 are kind of preparation to get to this place where Arjun can now see the Virat Roop, like visualize the manifestation of Krishna or a different form of Krishna. So he's getting himself, Krishna is getting Arjun ready to that point. So, we already did chapter 8, which is Akshar Yoga, which talked about life, death, eternal self. And now he's going to talk about Raj Vidya or Raj Guhya Yoga. And then he will talk about Vibhuti before, the final happens.
That's the next chapter, yes.
Yeah.
Actually, the very first verse tells him, Arjun, you do not have any envy towards any other, so I'm going to reveal this
Right.
king of knowledge,
Yeah.
which is very much hidden.
Yeah,
Now he's
Guhya
going to-
Tamam. Idam tu te Guhya Tamam. And he's giving him dosh rahit.
Yes.
It's like that is. So the first 3 verses of, I think, the 9th chapter is setting the foundation.
Exactly.
It's like one of the main ones that I see is when he said the 3rd shloka, where he says, Ashraddha na purusha. So Shraddha is one of the criteria for going further. Shraddha is an important criteria here. So if you don't have Shraddha, probably don't read anything after the 3rd verse, because if you have Ashraddha, then it's not for you, because you won't believe anything.
Actually, before in the previous chapter, we saw that it is mentioned you have to get enlightened, you have to have conviction.
Yeah.
And that's important.
Yeah, that conviction was a very important part. I think we did emphasize on that, because
That's
if you
right.
don't have that intensity, then you will never get there. But in this one, he's focusing on Shraddha, because Shraddha is important to understand. I mean, listening what he's saying next, a lot of Shraddha is needed, because sometimes it's not logical.
That is true. The conviction and the respect.
Yeah.
Actually, I think the conviction and the respect makes you a lot more focused toward the subject.
Okay. When you say respect, that is what I'm saying, Shraddha, like trust or.
You can say trust, respect, conviction. Okay, and that reinforces the realization, reinforces the effort, reinforces the focus.
Yeah.
If we have some focus, but if we do not believe in it and we keep on doubting it, then we would not go forward. And that's the basic part.
Yeah. I mean, so that's kind of, he lays the thing, expectation. This is the expectation from Arjun. This is Arjun, he knows, but from us, I think, it is an expectation that some sort of Shraddha and trust goes along, from here on. But the other thing, Amitabh, that fascinates me is that we read in second chapter and third chapter and on Nishkam Karma or non-attachment. And many of the divine properties that he's describing here match that. So he first teaches Arjun that, go and think about me and be non-attached and, it's like non-attached attachment or non-attached action. Um, and then now he's saying very similar things, which we will explore now. But
Yes.
there is a lot of similarity in what he has taught before. And now even Vyakta and Avyakt, now he's talking about Vyakta and Avyakt, but he taught Arjun that before, it's like, uh, so it's interesting that many of the divine properties follow the same path that he has been teaching so far.
Yes, he has taught it in many different ways in the previous chapter, and in this chapter, he kind of summarizes it. Okay, and that's why it is Rajvidya, it is king of the knowledge, and that's why he says this the sarangs or the summary is hidden. This summarization concept is hidden. So that's what he is now revealing to Arjun. And as you said, he takes it down all the way to Vishwarup Darshan, or when
Yeah, that's
when
like it seems like it is steps going up to that
exactly,
building up.
exactly.
Yeah. So with that said, I really love the fourth verse, which is like Maya tatamidam sarvam. It's like I pervade everything. I mean
Yes,
this and Jagata Avyakta Murtina. And both are so kind of deep to me. I mean, it's like he says, first of all, he says, I pervade the whole thing. But how does he pervade? By his unseen form. And this is the, avyakta murtina. Matsthani sarvabhutani na chaham teshvavasthita. I'll come to that, but he is acknowledging two things, that there exists avyakt form, avyakt murtina. So this is acknowledgement by Krishna himself that there is unmanifest form of existence. And whether it is you and me, we have an avyakt and vyakt. Manifest is what you call namrup. We have a name, we have a form, but there is
yes,
something that is unmanifest inside us, whether it
exactly.
is consciousness, awareness, spirit, soul, whatever name you give, we have that two thing. And he's saying that in divine form or Krishna's form also, it's like there is two forms. I mean, manifest and unmanifest,
Yes,
vyakt and unmanifest,
it is
or
translated as
visible and invisible.
yeah, it is translated as transcendental and immanent.
Yeah,
Okay, and basically, when in the previous chapter he said that my mode of expression in different natural elements, the human being, the deities and supernatural and all those things, he went through that, like adhibhuta, adhyatma, adhideva and
right.
all that. So
Yeah,
basically, behind all these manifested thing is the unmanifest Brahman.
yeah. That's the invisible for.
That's right.
Yeah. So visible, invisible, manifest, unmanifest, vyakt,
Yes,
avyakt,
exactly.
the seen, unseen. I mean, whatever word you use. So these
But
two, and this is what he says, what you said, the word immanent, all pervading.
yes,
The next, the sentence is what you said, transcendental, with matsthani sarvabhutani. I am in all of them, but they are not in me. So I am transcendental. So even though, it's like it all comes from me, they are not in me. So I am, you know, beyond them. And that is the transcendental part that you are talking about.
Yeah. Remember, we did talk about that verse from Isha Upanishad?
Yeah,
That, that he's far yet, he's near yet far, far yet near. He doesn't have any shape, but he assumes the shape in whatever enters.
right.
And basically, that's the concept he's talking about.
Yeah. It means that even though it's all from him, he's not attached to them.
Exactly.
And that is where I see the non-attachment part coming in here. It's like,
Yes.
and more, I think, more of that comes. But here also, I think um, that's a good illustration that, yes, he gives some examples. It's like this space and wind. So, the wind is in the space, but space remains unattached with it.
That's right.
And some people give an example of waves and ocean. Waves are in the ocean, but waves don't disturb the ocean.
Remember the verse where he said, I'm the strength of the strong, okay?
Yeah,
And the fragrance of the beauty. So
yeah,
basically, he's talking about there the transcendental state and the other state which we can appreciate through our senses.
yeah.
So basically, that is also Vaktana Bhaktyam.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I love this whole, it's like this verse, it's like Maya tatamidam sarvam. So I pervade everything, but in invisible form.
Yes.
So he acknowledges that there exists an invisible form of divine, but also it exists for you and I as well. We all have an invisible um, form. It's like that
Yeah, that's
exists.
the Atman we have. We
Yeah, you
that
call it Atman. Some people
yeah,
call it consciousness.
yeah,
Different names you can give.
yeah. Name does not matter, it's the concept.
Is the concept that there is something that is there. It's like
Actually, when you say when we go into who am I,
mhm.
and that is essentially the Atma Sarup Gyan.
Yeah,
Okay. So the state of the Atma, I mean, that Atma Sarup Gyan basically says that you are truly Atman. This body is perishable. Okay. So the body is immanent, the Atman is transcendental.
yeah,
That's all. And over and over he says there is a transcendental energy form of him,
yeah.
and there is a material energy for him in which he is manifested.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I mean it's fascinating to see or imagine that part of that divine, cosmic energy is inside you and me as well. And whatever the name is, but I think uh, Krishna makes it, I think that is a guhyatam or the mystery or the kind of, deep knowledge or whatever Rajyo, you call it. He's not just telling Arjun, he wants Arjun to experience it. That's the beauty of it. It's not just
yes.
a knowledge, like a
Mm.
book knowledge. It's like everything Krishna talks to Arjun, he wants Arjun to kind of not just listen here, and remember, like, like the memory thing we used to do, try to remember the names of all the bones. At that time, it sounded like, we're just remembering and kya- rattamaro is what we used to say, right? I mean, but it all came handy later on when we started practice, right?
Yeah, yeah. So basically, what you always say that it is learning, but the other it is being.
Yeah.
So that is the difference. Beyond learning is being.
Yeah. Yeah. Beyond learning is being or, experiencing. I mean,
Yeah.
whatever word we use. you know, Matsthani Sarvabhutani. So he uses the words Bhutani, which is all living being or all being. I mean, it's like
All being.
yeah, it's like
Animate, inanimate, all.
yeah. So it's you think it also incorporates anything that's non-living as well?
Yes.
Sarvabhutani.
Yes.
Yeah. Sarvabhutani kaunteya prakriti yanti mamikam. Um, then he goes on to say that I create, like at the end of the kalp, whatever that kalp is, it's like Brahma's it's like we talked about 4.3 billion years or something.
Kalp is the time period of involution
Yeah,
and evolution,
right.
resurfacing.
Yeah.
And
So,
he says, I created that too.
yeah. So in 7, he goes on to say that this whole thing is created by me in the beginning and they dissolve in me, you know.
Yes.
I mean, this is sometimes, you wonder, it's like, oh God, it's like, am I imagining that there may be, this happening by this one divine energy? But he talks everything like it's a system created. It's like this whole system, he's describing a whole system rather than he's saying, I am the doer. It's like even he is not, saying he's the doer, as if things are happening through him. It's like you remember that verse, yada yada hi dharmasya.
Yep.
He says, Sambhavami yuge yuge. I make it kind of happen. He doesn't say, I do it. It's like that doership, even Krishna doesn't use that doership as a word. It's like, even here it says, you know, this happens at the end of the kalp. This, everything dissolves or everything is created. He's not saying, I mean, although it is happening through him, he's not the doer. He's no doership part that I see.
Yeah. Remember, we previous chapter he said that all these things which is material,
Yeah,
okay, natural, which is made of natural element, all of them dissolve in but I never do.
yeah. Guna karma vivag, you always mentioned. Here also he says, you know, that when I create again, I create it according to their karma.
Yeah.
So even if the creation happens through him, it's not like random. It's not like Krishna likes Amitabh Ghosh, so he will give him a bigger seat.
No, he doesn't have any favoritism at all.
No favoritism to you or me. I mean, we think we are doing Gita, so Krishna will favor us.
No,
No such luck, right? So
that's right.
it's according to your karma. So that, I mean, this is he
Yeah.
makes it very, very succinct in chapter, I mean, verse 8, that bhuta grama mimam kritsnam vasham prakrite vashat. I mean, he's doing it time and again, but every time it's based on something, based on some principles or some criteria. So he goes on to, talk about, anasakti again in 9, that nachamam tani karmani nibandhasti dhananjaya. He's done all that, but he's still not attached to that. Udasino, it's like anasaktam, anasaktam. He's not attached to,
Not attached. Yeah.
yeah. And he can only not be non-attached if there is a system, set that, okay, according to karma or according to some principle, if everything happens, it's like everything is digital, right?
Mhm.
It's like what do they say? Computer trading, like, if the indicator goes this way, the computer will sell, or computer will um,
I don't know that one.
buy. So it's all fed in the computer, and this is what happens, the outcome. This cycle, whole kalp, ke beginning and the end of
Mhm.
the cycle, the creation happens again, but the creation is all done in a kind of systematic fashion. There is always some kind of criteria. It's kind of, in a way, it's auto-regulation. Although he
Mhm.
is the facilitator and everything happens through him, there is no what we were talking about, favoritism or something.
Yeah, remember he talked about the world order, the chakra, and the
Yeah,
cycle,
yeah,
and the world order.
yeah,
Basically, he is just refining that statement again.
yeah. But then he's stressing the fact, Nachamam tani karmani nimadhanti dhananjaya. They don't bind me. I'm not
Yes,
bound. There is
exactly.
no attachment there. He's,
Yeah,
he's,
because you see, Krishna, what I thought that all these things that is happening in this physical world,
yeah,
that is the expression of his energy into materials. इसको material energy कहते हैं.
yeah,
और इसके ऊपर भी एक चीज है जो कि वो 8 चैप्टर या 7 चैप्टर में बताए कि which is the transcendental energy.
yeah,
Okay. Remember when he was talking about adhibhuta, adhidaiva, adhyatma and all that? He
yeah,
said those are the modes of expression, but beyond that there is something which is I am.
yeah. And that's, he's now saying that, this my invisible form pervades the whole entire thing.
Exactly. And that's what he's elaborating now.
Yeah. But at the same, that's the immanence. But then the transcendental, I am still beyond them,
Yes.
you know. And
Yes.
now he's saying, Nibandhanti, they don't bind me.
Exactly.
So just because, I was thinking about, it's like it's not exactly so, but if you invent something or if you create something, that creation becomes independent and it's beyond you. Now it has its own life. And if you hold on to, it's like, yes, you do get a certificate, patent, and all that. But that doesn't determine the life of that invention. It depends on many other factors. What is competing, what is, whether it is going to die or whether some company will take it or, dump it. Its whole life is totally independent of you now. It's not exactly what, it's like I'm not pervading that invention, but in a way, there is the gap. Once you create something, the gap is there. And that's what Krishna is saying, that yes, it comes out of me. I'm all pervading. That's the additional part. But still, they are not, I'm not bound by them or bound to them.
Or they have the individual existence. Okay. And that individual existence, when we apply to the human being,
Yeah.
human being functions according to their gunas, the trait and their action.
Guna
Okay.
karma. Yeah.
Yes. So although we as human being has come out of that great energy,
Yeah.
okay, and from there we develop our life or our energy, yet we have a existence, but the transcendental energy is the source of everything.
Yeah. That's what he's trying to capture
That's
here, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
And that particular energy, the material energy that is often translated as,
Yeah.
and that is manifested in different parts, in the natural element, in our soul, in our environment, in all the deities, demigod, or everything which was called Adhidaivam. And
Yeah.
when this person as Krishna is embodied, he functions through that material energy.
Yeah.
And yet he has a transcendental energy as
Component.
the primary source of everything.
Yeah. But by the word, by you saying transcendental, it simply means that yes, it's beyond me
Exactly.
or beyond him, or
That's what
yeah.
it is.
Yeah. So, so I think that captures, it's like from 4 to 10, it captures that component, is in different forms. But then he comes to this knowledge, it's like people with this gyan, they have this shraddha and they have this recognition who Krishna is. So, who are the people who can see or palpate or be palpable about it or be open to looking at Krishna in that form? I mean, of course, Arjun is the closest one there, and he wants Arjun to understand this because he wants to take him to the next stages. But, it's like it says mood word, but I think it's more of an ignorant people.
Yeah,
People,
Muda is ignorance.
huh?
Muda means ignorance.
Yeah. So people who are ignorant, they, Krishna may be sitting next to them, eating with him, and they will have no idea of who he is. Yeah, but it's even true, somebody important and famous, and you don't know that person, he's sitting next to you in a train or a plane or any in a restaurant, you have no idea of, who this person is, right? So I think Krishna is simply saying, you know,
Yeah, basically talks about this is what the knowledge is. Remember
yeah,
in our anatomy dissection, we used to say that your eyes cannot see what your mind doesn't know.
right. Yeah,
So, so we used to quote that all the time
right.
without realizing the deeper meaning of it. So
Yeah,
basically, it is the knowledge that opens our eyes, and then is the realization.
yeah,
Okay, and that's what he's talking about.
yeah.
It
No,
is that
that's
realization.
exactly what he's saying, that, what the mind doesn't know, the eyes do not see. And that's what he's saying, that, people who are ignorant, um, they have no idea who I am,
Yes.
you know. And I don't think he wants to talk to them. It's like he says, okay, you can be what you are once you come to a point, because I think the 9.3, I think that's what he says. Ashraddha, or, it's like Shraddha is a criteria for, you to move forward in this chapter. If you don't have Shraddha, you can read, but, it's like you won't get it.
Yeah, if we don't have the conviction and the respect,
Yeah.
the knowledge becomes a very theoretical knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Mahatmanam nastu mam partha. I mean, it's like people who are Mahatman, Mahatma, who have this Daivi kind of Prakriti. They will, he comes down to a little bhakti here, that, it's like Shraddha, not blind faith, but bhakti is like some sort of devotion, some sort of surrendering to this
Yes.
bigger power. It's like, is also important. I mean, I think he's starting to kind of sow the seeds of bhakti that, that we will see later on.
We read that before.
Yeah.
The surrendering is the best antidote to ego. Remember, we talked.
Well,
We,
that is, I think when we say bhakti and when we say samarpan, we are talking about ego, right?
yes.
Basically, how
Basically, that's what he's talking
yeah,
about.
yeah,
This no egoistic knowledge is equally agyanta,
yeah,
is non-knowledge.
yeah,
So basically, that's what he's talking about, gradually removing the ego and this surrender
yeah,
and this conviction and this respect makes us all the more focused towards that.
yeah.
Uh,
And I like, he gives different kind of people. One, he now talks about bhakti, people who satatam kirtayanto mam, people who kind of do bhakti with me. They're taking my name all the time, and they're doing pranam or saluting me all the time. Um, and they are kind of in a way sadhana. I mean, the word used here is upasana, upasate, nitya yukta upasate. It's like those people um, who are in me, and of me, and kind of surrendering in a way to him. Those are the bhakti people, and they are dear to him. But then he says, the ones with Gyan Yoga, they do different. They do this Nirakar Puja, and Dhyan, and different way of um, kind of remembering him or worshiping him or trying to know him. And then, he goes on to uh, kind of describe more of how he pervades the whole universe. Aham kraturaham yagyah. In a yagya, I'm everything. Whether, whatever you say, yagya main hu, swadha main hu, aushadhi main hu, mantra main hu, everything that surrounds yagya is me. So
Yes.
he's trying to describe how he's all pervading. And then he said, Pita.
Remember that verse, Krishna, that Brahmarpanam Brahma Brahmagno Brahmanautam?
Yeah,
Basically the same idea. It
yeah,
is everything is out of that transcendental energy,
yeah.
whatever we see around. So
Ata,
this,
dhata, pitamaha.
yep,
So all the relationship, and Omkar and every Rigved, Samved, all of that. So in a way, he's kind of all the important concepts of that time or knowledge of that time that was there. He's saying it's all pervasive, means all of that is me. And like anything you can attain and obtain is all because of me. So it's basically he's kind of keeps on kind of describing a little more of that, and that's why I think um, we can go one by one. But I think what we are doing is concept that this whole all pervading means all pervading. It's
yes,
not like he leaves out anything. It's like um,
yeah.
whether it is Vedas or whether it is
So
Kam or Karma.
he,
It's like
he, he does talk about this sort of realization
yeah,
of that omnipotent, omnipresent, okay, and the source of everything. And then he talks about the in the verse 20 that Traividyang,
yeah.
that's how it all
Trividya Man
starts.
Somapa. Yeah,
So again, he talks about if we worship him with that ritualistic knowledge and the desire, then it becomes rather limited. So
yeah.
he's,
I mean, you do go to Swarg, which is heaven, and that's
but
what
you come back.
many people believe, that the heaven is the ultimate. But he's one who says there is beyond heaven, there is something as well. But
Yes.
if you go do that, you do get to heaven. And then once you have karma, I mean, there is a period that you can enjoy in heaven depending on your karmas, and then you come back. Yeah.
When your bank balance is done, you have to get back to work.
You're, that's right. You have spent all your retirement money, right?
That's right.
So,
So the whole important part of the thrust is
yeah,
towards being in union,
yeah,
having the conviction, having the respect, okay, and having that devotion,
yeah,
and together they make us focus, they make us realize that is the important lesson in all these verses.
Yeah,
And this
but
is what
from
he's
20
telling.
to 25, roughly, he goes on to talk about more bhakti. It's like
Yes,
he's building up towards that, because I think Shraddha is one thing, but bhakti is a little more than just Shraddha, right?
yeah,
Shraddha, knowledge also, you can be Shraddha, but still you can have your doubts, and those don't go together. So, you know, ego dissolution is what bhakti is, right? Dissolving
exactly,
ego. It's
exactly.
nothing to do with the other person, it's more to do with you, right? So
Yes,
this bhakti bhav, that he focuses on, and it has power, that he's saying that it has power, it's like, yeah. And then he emphasizes in 22, nishkam bhav, it's like, uh, many of us have this bhakti, we go and we ask for something. That's what most of us do, that, right? Go to temple and ask for something, it's like,
sure. It is basically bartering with God.
yeah, what is that? Dehi Jayam Dehi,
Rupam Dehi,
Rupam Dehi
Jaso
Jayam.
Dehi.
It's like,
Yeah, I mean, that's the typical part of most of the pujas or most of the worshipping, when you have got some want at the back of it,
yeah.
of all the things.
I mean, this
And
whole
here,
Chhathi Maiya, I mean, that's one of the festival dear to me. And you know why it is dear to me? Many of the festivals that we have in Dashara, Diwali, Basant Panchami, there was a sense of celebration there. I think celebration is a big component there. Whereas Chhat,
yes,
at least in Bihar, is more of a devotion, more of a sadhana. It's like it was never a celebration. I mean, yes, we had puja, we had, the food element was there, but that was then the last day. But it was not firecrackers, it's like, uh,
that's
and
right.
there was work, it's like I mean, yes, the ladies fasted most of the time. We used to carry the, thing on our head, at least in our village. Daura ghate pahuchao. It's like,
Well, the thing about it, Krishna, we are talking about high philosophy. Okay. High philosophy, remember he talked about it. Most of the people, high philosophy will go over their head.
yeah,
If we talk in some tangible terms,
yeah,
and then we celebrate it, it becomes very powerful tool
yeah,
for the practical world. So,
yeah,
so celebration basically gives us a very happy feeling about it. And then we want to celebrate more and more. And that is the way a particular teaching or a particular auspicious occasion is more meaningful.
yeah.
Okay.
So celebration, asking for something, but Krishna says if you can do nishkam,
Yes.
um,
This is
bhajan,
the highest form of worship.
yeah, he's acknowledging that there is people, it's like the next verse 23, yapyanya devata bhakta yajante shraddhaya anvita. People who do sakam puja,
Mhm.
they will get that sakam, result. So
Yeah.
he's acknowledging that yes, Nishkam puja is the best, but Sakam puja, he recognizes that it is there. He goes on to say, Patram pushpam phalam toyam, it's like he will accept it.
Yes. Yes.
25 is Yanti Deva Vrata Devan, so if you are worshipping Dev, you will get them. Pitri Yanti Pritrivita. So if you are doing Pitris, you will get them.
Ancestors.
Bhutani
Yeah.
Yanti Bhutejya. But if you are worshipping me, you will get me. So he says, he sees all these 3 or 4 different kind of, it's like people going for different pujas, which is even now prevalent, at least in India, that you go for different devata, or you go Pitri Puja or Priti Vata. And then, you can go to for Krishna and Patram Pushyam, Pushpam Phalam Toyam, you can bring it to me as well.
Krishna, can I go back to a couple of other verses which we read earlier?
Yeah,
And basically, we just quoted one, and which said, "We will people will worship in different forms."
yeah,
Okay, although they are worshiping me, but they are worshiping me in different forms according to their trait and
yeah,
according to their actions. So it's an
yeah,
intelligence level, I would say, or their perception level.
yeah,
However, then another verse he says, the ascetic, the ritualist, the seeker of health and wealth, okay, the seeker of knowledge, okay, will all come to me, but the one that tries to realize me is the one I reveal myself.
yeah.
And the subsequent one, he
Which
and
one
that
you are talking about? Are you talking from this chapter or the
no,
previous?
no, no, no. In the previous chapter we talked
Yeah,
about
we
it.
talked about it. The
Okay.
Gyani is the one which is,
And then the following verse was very important, which is very pertinent in this particular area,
yeah,
that he talks about three things. He talks about devotion, service, and humility.
yeah,
Then he talks about the one that does the action with devotion and service
yeah,
are the most favorite of me.
yeah.
He's saying again and again here, he's just
Mhm.
elaborating on that for Arjun.
Yeah, no, you're right. No, I mean, I remember we talked about it, but anyway, we will continue our discussion here.
Okay.
Patram pushpam phalam toyam, it's like he is going to accept.
So whatever done in devotion, he is it
He's
is
going to,
acceptable
yeah.
to him. That's what it is.
And then he gives the instruction. That always comes with Krishna. I mean, yat karoshi yat snasti. बोल रहे हैं कि whatever you are doing, whatever you are eating, whatever you are doing havan, it's like sacrificing or donating or whatever tap and anything, you know, give it to me. Arpan is the word. Madarpanam. Tat kurushva madarpanam. It's like do it as if you are doing it for me. And this is the ultimate, like we talked about, like what is our driving force is, desire. That's where we start. Then we have the inner fire or inner driving force. If you drop the desire, you have internal, it's like energy that does. And then you have the final divine Krishna. So what he is saying that just leave everything to me. Whatever you do, he's not saying don't do it. Krishna is not about not doing.
Actually, that's what the word Nityayuktam is.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, everything be in union. That's what Nityayuktam is.
Shubha Shubh Falairevam. It doesn't matter Shubh Asiv. Whatever you're doing, Mokshasya Karma Bandhate. Sannyasa Yoga Yuktatma.
Again, the word
So
Yuktatma came. Yuktatma is the word he
Yeah.
came up again. That's what
Sannyasa
it is.
Yoga. Sannyasa Yoga Yuktatma.
Yep.
So he is now adding sannyas to that.
Yeah, that's Vairagya,
Yeah, that's vairagya, or it's like, yeah, non-attached.
non-attached.
Yeah. So I mean, that is, those people come to me. So he's saying first that, leave everything to me. And then he says, sannyasa yukta mukta, muktatma, then you come to me. The moment you do that. So these two are the instructions, 27 and 28 are the instructions to Arjun, instructions to us, that do your karma. Krishna is not about not doing something. Do your karma, but surrender it to me, all your karmas, anything you do, anything you eat, anything you do. It's like when he said, Mom, Mom is marum, remember me, think of me and do. So think of me and do. And now he's saying that give it to me. He's just, leave it to me. And then he says, you will end up with me. I think, it's like, I love this whole 8th chapter, 9th chapter, and it's like I can't wait for the 10th chapter. But I just want to read this for before we end. Maya tatmidam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina. I pervade everything with my unseen, invisible, unmanifest form. And this to me is, worth kind of pondering, worth, it's like doing. Ultimately, can we experience it? I will give it a try anytime.
Mamaka Pandavaschi Kimakuru